podcast. It is your girl Ashanti with Ashanti After 9. And I have a very talented man sitting right next to me. Okay, he drove all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, and has put together a very amazing project in the city. I'm so excited for him to talk about it. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Again, thank you so much, Ashanti, for having me. I'm Rico Shay, and I am the director, producer, and co-writer for the Miltons, an original stage play by me. And we're bringing it to Birmingham August 2nd to put it on live.
I'm so excited about that. So tell me, when you first thought about the Miltons, because I know you've been kind of writing for a bit, what made you kind of get out of, well, tell me when you first started writing, what kind of writing did you do? Because I only know you kind of from like kind of comedy skits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what made you say, hey, we're finna kind of take a different step?
So it's funny you mentioned that the Miltons was born from one of the skits I did.
Okay.
So I did a skit 4 years ago, Meet the Miltons, and I was poking fun at Tyler Perry, and I made a parody of Meet the Browns. So that skit, when we did it, it was all improv, the dialogue. I just had the concept of a family coming together to have a dinner and like a bunch of secrets spilled at the table.
Okay.
And so when we did it, it was so funny, and I was like, man, this will make a really good stage play one day. So I just sat on it, and a lot of my ideas I just sit on them till the time is right.
Okay.
And so God lined it up to do it now, and here we are 4 years later, putting it on.
Right. So for those that have never seen the play, which we haven't seen it yet, can you give us like one sentence that would kind of give people like an understanding about what it's going to be about?
That's good. The Miltons is a family comedic drama that showcases an urban family and the struggles and battles that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to realize that they're all they got. And at the end of the day, you're family, and you just got to push through.
Okay.
That's what it's about.
So, okay. How did you get into film? So we're going to dial it back because I know you are like a director. Would you consider yourself an actor too?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I started acting first.
Okay.
That's really my first love. Started acting. You just growing up, you kind of don't really know what you want to do until life just plays its role.
Mm-hmm.
So, 5th grade, Montgomery, Alabama, I just felt the need to do a talent show. And I did the MLK speech, memorized it from top to bottom. And that was my first time really just bracing the stage and going before an audience. And I was like, I want to be an actor. I'm a character. I'm a funny little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I started majoring in theater, middle school, high school, going to different summer camps and stuff like that. So that's kind of where my love for acting really was born, just in my upcoming. And it kind of just got bigger and better over time.
Okay, so what was that moment when you were like, hey, because I know you went to school, you went to college. What was that moment when you were like, yeah, we gonna kind of finish school, but we definitely getting ready to delve into like film and just being a creator. What was that moment that really clicked for you?
That's a great question. So my journey with school was really difficult because I'm such an artist that I went to UAB and I actually dropped out twice because I was just really like I'm such a hustler and a go-getter. I was like, I'm not a school guy. Like, this ain't for me. So I really, like, my time in Birmingham, I really just started trying to figure out my purpose. And it got to the point, I remember clearly, 2017, where I just was like lost. I was working at Publix, and it just was like my goals and my aspirations, they just weren't panning out. And so after work one night, late night, I made a sincere prayer to just to find my purpose in life. And so later on, 2018, I was asked to be in a web series called School Days. And this was my first time on a real set, even though it was independent. I was, a part of the production, playing a lead role, and that's when I really became inspired to start doing my own content and just start writing my own projects. in 2018, that's when I wrote my first short film, $1 Million Ambition. So a lot of it, just my journey with school, everything's connected. And it just kind of just led me to creating my own stuff and just putting myself in the project as well as producing it all together.
Okay, so what gives you inspiration when you decide, hey, I'm getting ready to write a play, I'm going to write a short film, I'm going to write a skit? Where do you get inspiration?
Great question. I get inspiration from life. Like I'll joke with people all the time. Like they'll tell me a story and I'll be like, "That's a skit. Let's run that." So a lot of the skits that I do, that are they be like real stories that people tell me or like things I've been through. So just like everyday life, you know, and just current events, just what's going on in the world. And also too, I spend time in nature. I really understand the science behind spending time in nature is it has an effect on the subconscious mind when you spend time around greenery and stuff like that. So just spending time in nature, going to parks and just getting that inspiration from God's green earth as well.
Okay, so tell me, when it comes with your like past experiences writing different things, right? How did you come to say like, okay, we getting ready to put the Miltons together? Because I know it was like a skit before,
Right.
and it had kind of evolved. What was that moment when you were like, okay, we're gonna go from something short form to a play? Because that's a pretty big jump.
It's a jump. It's a jump. I'm still figuring it out as I go. But it got to the point where I haven't done a big project in like 4 years. My time in Birmingham was super consistent. I was always doing premieres. I always had something coming up that was bigger and better each time. But it got to the point when I graduated, I moved to the A, and I kind of reset and just wanted to be normal for a change. And so it got to the point where I was like, okay, I got to get back into doing this. Although my skits were always consistent, I always was doing skits. That kind of was like my workout gym, practicing that creative muscle. But when it came time to okay, what am I going to do next? It was either going to be doing this feature film, which is a lot more of a budget, or do the stage play, which is less of a budget, but it's a more upfront cost. But it made sense strategically to do the play because it's less of a budget, and once it's done, it's done.
Right.
Compared to the film, where it's a lot more just monetary needs involved that I can't do it right now. So, but it's just the play really is a strategic move, and also it's creative. Like it's something I haven't done before, so I'm challenging myself even in that sense, and it's fun. Like theater is my first love, so just getting back into doing that, and also putting myself in it as a small role it's fun.
So Aaliyah and I know y'all can't see Aaliyah, but we actually were just a part of something that was kind of like a show, right? So we understand how budgeting does always play a part in like the overall production of the show. So just for inquiring minds, right? What are some ways that you feel like people that are interested in getting into film, interested in just getting into the industry in general, what are some things that you feel like they should do to increase their budget?
Great question. I love these questions. To increase your budget, something I learned early on is to write realistically.
Okay.
Write realistically. Don't write a Star Trek film if you don't have any access to that type of, story and narrative. So a lot of my early works, it would just be access that I had to around the city or people I had access to, and just kind of go from there. Like you don't have to just go above and beyond out the gate. Everybody got to start somewhere, and so just starting with what you have, even if it means putting your friends and your family in your projects, you can save money on that, and just don't be afraid to ask for money. If people really believe in you and they support you, call them. Don't just text them. Like have a verbal conversation with someone and tell them what you have going on. Be genuine, be sincere, and just tell them why it would be significant for them to contribute to what you have going on financially. And honestly what I found success in is just being genuine and explaining the why behind what I'm doing.
Okay, so we're gonna go to a little intermission. Just because they said Rico is sideways. I don't know. Hold on, let me see.
I was sideways.
Hold on, my friend Jessica texted me said you sideways. He not sideways, girl. I don't know. You the right way. Anyways, I'm sorry, y'all. Um, I don't know. But anyways, so tell me when you picked your cast, how did you go about doing that? Did they have to audition? Did you already know who you were going with?
Yeah, and all the cast I already know them, except for one member. But we did have auditions, in-person auditions, at the Vault back in it was either October or November last year. Did the auditions, and honestly, this was one of my more challenging auditions. I think it was because I moved, and I wasn't as tapped in with the city. Although we had people come out, it just took a while to get the right people in the right role. Specifically, Tyrone, Milton, and Ricky. Those were like they kind of held up the production a little bit because I was like, man, I gotta have the right people in these roles. But shout out to everyone that came and auditioned. We had some great talent come through, and that's one of the things I love about Alabama is the talent that's here. There's so much talent here. It's really astonishing when I travel and I tell them I'm from here. They're like blown away that I do what I'm do, but I'm from Alabama. Like they can't believe it. So they just don't know how much talent is here, but we really do. We really
Have
do
a
have
lot of
something
good
to bring to
talent.
the table for sure.
Okay, that's cool. So we want to get a little bit into the cast.
Let's go.
Right, we're gonna talk about a few of the characters. So the Miltons, so they kind of go through different struggles, right? We got some pregnancy issues, we got some loyalty issues, we got a lot of little things that the family is going through. So Maurice and Sandra, those are the parents, right?
Right.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that character because I know they're kind of like the pillar of the unit.
Right.
And they got a little situation. We can't tell y'all everything, but they got a little situation going on that y'all need to see. So tell us a little bit about those characters.
Maurice Milton, hardworking man. He's a no nonsense type of guy. Okay. He's funny without trying to be funny because he's trying to put you in your place, but the way that he delivers his lines and his character is just hilarious. And he's on the verge of retiring from his company, and he gets fired by a new guy. Somebody's family member took his spot, and so he just lost his job. So now he has to figure things out, explain it to his wife. Sandra, on the other hand, she's a hard-working woman as well. Mother of 3 children, and she's just a loving, caring mom, like any other good mom. Every day is Mother's Day.
That's how you would describe Sandra.
Huh?
Because I don't know.
Sandra, not perfect. I'll say that.
Okay.
Sandra's not perfect. But her family means everything to her, and she will try to perfect her misperfections the best she can. I'll say that.
Okay, so I'm about to say, now we know what's going on in the play, and Miss Sandra, she on one. I'm gonna just let y'all know. You guys, you need to make sure you got. It's coming out August 2nd, right?
August 2nd.
And there's 2 show times. Is it 7
p.m. and 7 p.m.
2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Okay, now y'all got to get down there at 2 o'clock. Sure. Okay, because Sandra really, really, really is on one. Matter of fact, I just got a question. How old are the kids? Are they grown?
So Erica Milton's the oldest.
Okay.
She's like 28, 29. Tyrone's the middle. He's like 25, 26. And then Bubba, he's like 19, 20. Okay. So they've all moved out the house except Tyrone, who's causing the most trouble. He's staying at home. He's causing the most trouble.
Po baby, po baby. So I know Bubba does like music. Is that right?
Bubba is he's a singer in a band.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a singer in a band. And he realizes that he wants to chase his dreams. He's not a college kid. And so oftentimes And this story really shines a light on how, like, a lot of times parents will try to carve a path for you, but ultimately, it's just best to let your child do what they feel is best and just support them. You know.
I got a question about that. So I do agree, right? I do feel like your parents should let you kind of figure out your life. But I think, or you may have a different opinion, but while we coming up, like at what time should they give us, you know what I mean, those reins? I'm very blessed, and I can kind of talk about my story. So I have always been blessed with dreamers for parents, right? Like my dad has his own business, my mom has had her own business. And so while my dad did go a traditional route by getting a degree, or both of my parents are college graduates, they were able to, you know, kind of become entrepreneurs based off of that degree and some of the certificates that they've gotten. And my sister and I have gone completely the different route, right? Like, I think my sister does have a degree because she's graduated college before, but I technically don't have a degree. I haven't graduated college. And before I started taking media seriously, like a few months ago, I was finishing up my prerequisites and I was getting ready to go to nursing school. And I don't know, I just told myself, I'm going to take like the next 3 months. I think I had 3 months until August. And I said, I'm going to take from May to August. I am going to pursue media in the most intense way possible to see if that's my thing. And my mom sat me down and she was like, yeah, you probably don't need to go to school. Like, school is always going to be available. And I'm blessed to have parents that will support me. If I got to go to nursing school at 45 years old, my parents going to make sure, you know, that they help me get there. But, you know, I was really blessed for that opportunity. But I do find that some people would have love for their parents to say, no, you need to go to school. You need to get an education. Even if you get that education and then you decide to do something different.
Yeah.
You need to have that backbone. How do you feel about that?
That's a great question. I dealt with that personally, and kind of the storyline is kind of based on that a little bit. Like I said, dropping out twice, my parents really pushed me to finish. Like, especially my mom. My mom, she was on me to finish. I gotta salute her. My parents are the reason I graduate. So, and it actually it allotted me some flexibility, but I always had a vision to never let this go. Like, whatever happens, I'm going to make it big. I'm a star. I'm an artist. I'm going to chase this thing. But the schooling backing, I just say it's not for everyone. And you kind of, it's best to figure that out before high school graduation. That way you can save a lot of time, which is what I dealt with. If I could go back, I would do a lot of things differently. But yeah, I say try to figure out the best before you graduate high school for sure. It helps save a lot of time.
Okay, well, this is another question I got. If you didn't go through all of those difficulties, do you think you would have arrived where you are now? I feel like for me, I would not, if I would have been like, oh, when I'm 18, I'm going to be a media personality, like, I don't think I would have pursued it so intensely right now versus me being like, hey, it's do or die.
Yeah.
Like, you can already start. If I start nursing school, there's no way I can do anything else. It's going to be something that's going to take away my day. Yeah. Weekends, all of that.
Right.
You know, I probably could pick up media when I'm a nurse in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
When I have a job that I have to be at every week. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I would have had that opportunity. So, because think about it. The things that you've gone through put you here.
Right.
Where you are like pursuing film and just being a creative very intensely.
Right.
Almost in a rebellious state. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't getting ready to do all that other stuff I went to school for. I'm finna do this.
Yeah.
So do you think if you would have had at 18, like, yeah, don't worry about college. Just go get you a camera, baby. Get you some microphones. And yeah, we're going to let you go ahead and do what you got to do. Do you feel like you would be like this hungry for it?
I'll say this. God is number one.
Mm-hmm.
God has written everything already. So I just tried my best to fall in accordance with what He's written and His plan. And I feel like life is like, it's always a matter of decision making. It's
Mm-hmm.
always a matter of, coming to a crossroad and dealing with option A and option B. And ultimately, God has written your life, but you have the option to go down path A or path B, but you'll ultimately land where God has wanted you to be.
I
So
hear
that's
you.
kind of what I feel like. If I would have did this at 18, I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know.
And look,
I don't know.
we're gonna put you in the we're gonna put you in Maurice. That's the father, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna put
Maurice.
you in his role. You
Okay.
had a son that want to pursue music, and
Yeah.
he 18 years old,
Yeah.
just graduated. Might be okay. Are you gonna tell him, baby, get in the booth, or you gonna tell him he better get in the booth and get in the classroom too? What are you gonna do as a parent?
Great. I love these questions, man. It's good. If I was Maurice and my child wanted to do everything in music, um, I would tell him to make sure he has some streams of income coming in and go after it. But you're
Okay.
not gonna do it under my roof.
You gonna put him out?
You gotta get it. You gotta lead a nest.
Why?
You gotta lead a nest. I feel like that's when you really can hold yourself accountable. When you lead a nest, in my opinion, um, it helped me to be more responsible, more mature, and like stay on top of things. So if I was Maurice, Bubba, he's gonna have to get it, and I'm gonna be there to support him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what he's choosing to do compared to like you know higher education is more of a stability type of thing, more of a safety net. That's kind of one reason why I graduated, just so that's always there if I need it. Um, but yeah, if I was Maurice, Bubba, you got to get some bread. You got to support yourself independently.
I think if it was me, my children finna go to school. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna try to
You
sugarcoat it.
pushing all your kids through school.
It depends on, okay, if I see myself in the way that I see my career going, we're gonna have a real sit down at like 15. All right. Are you social media inclined? Or are you banking off your mama? You know what I'm saying? If you're banking off of me, baby, you finna go to school. I'm sorry. If you don't have your own following, if you don't have your own, you know what I mean, your own traction, your own footprint, you're not making strides in this industry like your mama is, but you just gonna be my daughter. No. Like you can ready to go to school. Like to me, I'm gonna give you a good example. Candy Burris, her daughter Riley, is in college right now. I want to say she's like pursuing law and stuff. And she's kind of like going through that phase where she doesn't know if she want to go to school or not. I think she was a prime example of somebody who needed to graduate and go to college. She was not like social media inclined. She had a following, but it just wasn't her thing. Versus like Lori Laughlin's daughter, right? That's the lady who had this college scandal. And her daughter ended up faking acting like she was going to college to do a sport. And she actually like, they stole that tuition money and stuff like that. She should have been an influencer. Wow. She at that point she already had like a makeup line or some kind of beauty line in Sephora. She was already like making that imprint where she could have been like, I don't have to go to college because I'm making my own name. So yeah, kids, I know y'all might look at this in a couple years. If you 15 and you ain't really stamped like that in the game, you know what I mean? You better go to college, okay? You ready to go? You better do your first semester. You better make our A's or don't do that dropping out. You know what I mean? We're not doing all that because I did that. But you're gonna be better than your mama. Okay. Or, you better go and hit a hustle and hit the gram up, hit TikTok up, but whatever the social media is at that point, I think it's only fair because I'm not gonna give out particular names, but you ain't finna be, my mama is. You need to be saying what your name is, Just be real.
That's real.
So, all right, Tyrone. So how did you manage to make Tyrone's character so relatable? Because I feel like he is such a relatable character. Without giving any spoilers, can you describe Tyrone to the audience?
Tyrone is a hard hit.
Okay.
Tyrone is somebody who thinks he knows it all.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an element in the story where we actually address when your child is turning into something that you didn't raise. You know, it's a storyline in the play where Tyrone is involved in street life. He's
Mm-hmm.
involved in gang activity, and you know, this is not the household he came out of. He didn't grow up like that.
Is it though?
It's not. It's not.
Oh,
It's not.
okay.
It's not.
Okay.
But it's honestly, it goes back to that rebellion. It's
Mm-hmm.
that clash between father and son where you know your child he doesn't want to be like his dad. It's butting head so much that he wants to just go in another direction and go against what his parents are advising him to do. But the crazy thing is about it, we show how good parents they are that he's still able to live at home. Like he still is supported with the roof over his head, you know, meals on the table by his parents, but he's not doing what he should do as a man.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing illegal activity, and it's just not commendable. So Tyrone is someone who, at the end of the day, he's a good kid. He is a good kid. Um, he just needs guidance, and sometimes that guidance doesn't come from your parents. It comes from outside influences, and in this stage in his life, he's getting a lot of negative outside influence.
Right.
And so it's a moment in the play where his father really shows his fatherhood, really literally puts his life on the line for his family. And this is when it's like an epiphany to Tyrone, like, dang, I really do have a good dad. And like he would die for me. So that's just a little bit about Tyrone, but I like Tyrone. He's going through a lot. He's like going through an emotional roller coaster. When you come to see the play, you'll see, you know, the struggles that he's going through and the event that takes place, and it just causes an explosion. Um, you gotta. I like having the story too of having both parents in the house because it
Mm-hmm.
helps to balance it out. It'll be much different if he just had his mom or if he
Right.
just had his dad. It's good to have the storyline of showing two parents in the house together. Um, Also exploring that narrative as well.
Okay. So if you could give advice to to Maurice and Sandra about what to do with Tyrone, what advice could you give them?
I would advise them to have a real sit down with Tyrone and try to find out, look, son, what do you want to do in life? Like, you're 26, where are you going? You know, we know they don't know exactly what he's doing outside the house, but they know he's doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. He's getting a large amount of money, and it's not going to come from your standard 9 to 5.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So
Mm.
having that real sit down and you know, just trying, giving that effort. Sometimes, you know, children will say, you know, my parents didn't even try. My parents didn't even try to talk to me. And sometimes you just have to have that sit down. Although it might go in one ear and not the other, sometimes it can have a subconscious effect down the line, something that they can reflect on later. So my advice to them would be to have that sit down and try to do some family counseling. You know,
Were they receiving any of this money? I'm just curious.
so I give a little revelation. So I mentioned that this is like a funny spoiler, I say, for you to
Okay.
come see the show. But
Okay.
like I said, Maurice does lose his job. So we
Mm-hmm.
poke fun in Act One where Tyrone offers his dad some money. And he's like, well, I know you just got laid off. So we play with that type of family dynamic. They kind of have a little clash there. So yeah, he actually does offer some money to his dad, and his dad doesn't accept it. You know, he knows that this is not coming from a righteous living. So yeah.
Would you accept it?
If I was Maurice,
Yeah.
it was a lot of money. Um, I wouldn't accept it. You know, I feel like in my fatherhood, I'll stand on morals and values. If I know my child is involved in something like that, God forbid, I definitely wouldn't take it. I didn't raise you to do these type of things.
Off the record, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Like, look, mama can turn the blind eye. Just leave it around. I found it, and the mortgage paid up. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Okay, your daddy got laid off. I'm stressed around here. He got an attitude about these bills, baby. Go ahead and leave about 5-6 racks for your mama.
On GP.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be into it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to church and I'm gonna repent and pray. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be trying to get back right with God, but just for this second, I'm gonna have to step from the cross and go ahead to get my little money, get my affairs in order. My son out here working hard, and as far as I know, he goes to work every day.
As far as you know,
as far as I know, just like El Chapo wife said, I've never seen my man around any drugs, and I never seen my son do anything illegal. He just brought me something.
That kind of goes back to the element of choices. This play is all about choices.
Oh, I know. Okay.
It's all about choices.
We're gonna get to Angie and Miss Sherry, right? So they were kind of like the comedic relief. Is that correct?
For sure.
So tell me more about those characters.
Auntie Angie, man. Auntie Angie is that auntie bougie, always shopping. She actually owns a boutique.
Okay.
So she's super funny. It's like the Martin and Pam dynamic between her and Maurice. They always going at it whenever they're in the same room. But she's family. She's family too. And Auntie Angie definitely offers some comedic relief because there's a lot going on in the play. There's a lot going on, but she's that auntie who she's that auntie who will try your nephew and try to take your nephew off your hands. She's like 40, 50 something. She's one of them.
Okay.
She's one of them aunties. Miss Sherry is another comedic character. She's from my universe. She's one of my characters. And the actress, Dolores Bird-Smith, really brings her to life. Like, she is Miss Sherry when she becomes her. And Miss Sherry is just that nosy neighbor, just troublemaking, coming in the house unannounced, doesn't knock, always needs something, always just in people's business. She's telling Fox 6, she's telling the pastor, she's going live on Facebook about everybody and everything. Miss Sherry is a character, man. And she's actually one of my characters I want to turn into a stage play. I want to make a Miss Sherry the stage play one day.
Okay, so do they know the family secret?
Do
and the aunties?
Miss Sherry, Auntie Angie knew, actually.
Okay.
Auntie Angie knew all these years. And I mean, what do you say? At Two Sisters, I thought about it like, Two Sisters, this type of secret, would you let this out, or are you gonna hold it in for your sister? We explore that as well.
I used to be messy, y'all. I used to be messy. I gave that life away. I did. And as I was reading through the treatment, I said, you know what? I just had to ask for forgiveness later. If I felt to blow the spot up, I couldn't continue on like this.
You would have let him know.
Yeah. Because the moment I would hear, oh, I got to go, get this gift for this person. Or this person getting on my nerves. And I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would have just said it, And how old is he now?
Who?
Tyrone.
Tyrone is 26.
26. And look, let me tell you, I got a personal connection to this,
really?
Right? I do. Not like that. Not in the way that you put it, but I'm trying to see how I can say it without saying it. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna have to tell you off camera because if I say it on here, I'm gonna be negative plot array. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I know it's important, but I used to be messy. I'm just gonna tell you I've been delivered. I don't know how many months. It's been a few months, right? It's probably about 3 months since I've been delivered from being really messy like that. And it's always fun messy. That's dark mess. You know, I don't like to play with stuff like that. So it's like, you gonna be mad at me, but we need to go ahead and do this. Okay, because you're gonna thank me in the end. Maybe you're gonna be old and gray, stressed out, hair falling out. You know what I mean? You could get an ulcer, a stomach ulcer, all this stress on you. In a simple sentence, could have let it all go.
Right.
You know? And see, that's the type of person I am. Well, okay, if it was you, if it was your brother, okay, and your brother in this type of situation, would you be like, hey, look, my brother done got into, oh, you just gonna rock with your brother, act like you ain't know?
I gotta rock my brother, man.
Really?
That's his battle. that's his problem. You know, he got to deal with that. I'm not gonna rattle my brother.
I'm gonna tell you. See,
I know it might not be the right thing to do.
If you was my man brother, you couldn't come back around my kids no more. I couldn't even. I had to cut you off. You would be getting cut off.
That's the thing. It's so many layers to it, right? If you peel back the layers, it's like, should you not? Should you not? It's so many layers to it. The right answer, I really don't know. Righteously so, I really don't know.
Okay, I got a question for you. So some of these questions coming off the dome. Okay. And this is just a quick question.
Yep.
If somebody couldn't figure out the truth, would you lie to them? Like if you was like, hey, they would never figure out the truth, and they asked me this question, would you lie to them?
I plead the fifth.
I just need to know real quick. And if you listening, I just want to know. If somebody was like, hey, I got a question to ask you, and you thought in your mind, if I tell them the truth, this might upset them, but they probably won't be able to figure out the answer anyways. That's why they're asking me.
In that instance, I would tell them.
The truth?
I would tell them the truth.
What instance would you not tell the truth?
And the way you worded it, I don't want to lie.
Okay.
I want to be truthful. I want to be pure. I want to be honest.
But you'll lie for your brother.
Can we replace lie with another?
No. You'll lie for your brother.
I love my brother. I'll say that.
Okay.
I love my brother. I love all my brothers.
Yeah.
We'll put it like that.
I would, if it was my sister though, I would try to let her know I love and I love and support her.
Sure.
And we're gonna move through this together, but we're gonna move through honesty. Because I feel like it's gonna be more that ricochets after the fact than it would
ripple
be.
Effect. Yeah, it's just best to get it over with.
Yeah,
it's best. I agree.
You know, and I have so many references I can bring up right now.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking of. If I say it, it's gonna get a show.
It's gonna be too much.
It's gonna be too much
sauce.
Yeah. So okay. Is there any character that you resonate with personally? I know we kind of talked about Bubba and his pursuing of like music, but is there any other character that you kind of like resonate with?
Bubba's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a creative perspective, you know, the arts, it's so hard to make it, and it's so hard to get support when you're starting out. So I can relate to him just with my journey, starting from scratch, starting from nothing, and building this up from the ground. I can really relate. I don't know if you know, I started, one of my pathways in the arts was making music. So I came up rapping. That really was like my introduction.
You want to do a freestyle?
Not right now.
Okay.
we discussed that.
I know.
Before airing.
I can catch the vibe. I can catch the beat right now. Though. I'm ready.
I can catch the beat, but not right now. One of my goals is to start back making music though. Okay. One day. It's like, that's the other thing as an artist, like something I've learned is to do one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to do too much, you're gonna lose focus.
I agree.
It's gonna start getting blurry, and it's not gonna be as good. So my focus right now is the Miltons. That's got all my attention. Then I'm actually writing a book right now. I'm writing my first ebook.
Oh wow.
It's titled Conscious, Committed, Consistent. So that'll be like my next focus, and then we'll start getting the play ready to take it on the road. But yeah, back to your initial question, Bubba is number one, just from an artist perspective.
Mm-hmm. So hold on, we got a comment. What did she say? Depending on the situation, I might not tell the truth. Oh, okay, so you don't mind a little lie, huh?
I get it, man. I get it. That's why I said it's layers. It's so many. We might open that up at the end of the play. I might ask the audience, what would you have done?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I think that'll be a cool discussion.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there too. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna let them know.
You gotta chime in.
Look, and I just thought about this too. Sometimes I do lie, but it's people I don't care about. I lie to them. If I care about you, I'm sorry. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and have to say it. It's hard for me to hold like things that I feel like people need to know. Because if it was me, and I'm dramatic too. You know what I'm saying? I'm dramatic.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, if that was me, I would knock all this stuff over. You know what I mean? I would be so upset. So
yeah,
I definitely feel like I would tell.
I gotta respect it.
To the grave. Oh, she gotta take it to the grave.
That's the thing too. Like, I'm also thinking about the other person. Like, how is this truth going to affect you? Because they say the truth hurts, but it also said it'll set you free. So it's just weighing those. Everything is decision making. Everything's about decision.
The truth hurts when they tell you the truth after a lie. That is how that happens.
That's true.
The truth hurts after they tell you the lie.
Righteous.
That's it. It's not just somebody being honest with you, because if that was the case, that honesty would not be hurtful when it should have been delivered. You know what I mean? In this situation. So when people say, oh, the truth hurt, it's because they done lied to you before and they ain't really have to clear it up. That's really where that come from.
Yeah. Me personally, just let me know.
Oh, so you don't want nobody to lie to you? Oh, wait. Okay.
Me personally.
You don't want nobody to lie to you, but you may lie to others.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you.
I lie to people who I feel like is going to lie to me. I do. I do.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
But I'm not gonna lie. If it's somebody I really care about, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna keep it a band.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell.
I'm gonna keep it a band.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, everybody gonna know I'm gonna tell though. Even the person I'm telling on. They might be mad, but I'm gonna just ask for forgiveness.
Righteous.
You know? And like I'm gonna probably start off like this. You know, I don't like no mess, but
me personally,
your auntie got to tell you something.
Right. I'm not even the type of person to put myself in these type of situations. I'm cool, calm, collective. I don't get involved in gossip. I don't get involved in rumors. It just ain't me. So I don't even deal with these type of things.
It follows you sometimes.
Yeah. And even when it follows you, I think it's important just to keep a good track record. Like, like that type of claim or accusation, you know that's not him. You know that's not her. You know what I'm saying? I had people try to lie on me, you know.
Really, what they was lying on you saying? Who was?
Words in your mouth.
Oh,
words in your mouth.
Okay.
Saying things that I said that obviously weren't true, and they get to the point where people run off with it. So you just have to keep a good name. You know, your name is everything.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because sometimes when those situations happen, I feel like it's a little small red flag that you need to distance yourself immediately. You know, when that person lies on you or crosses that boundary of like confidentiality and brings that conversation to a third party and definitely skews the conversation, I feel like that's just a little, if it gets back to you, it's like a little red flag, run far away.
For sure.
Because if it's that small, imagine you have shared something so intimate, so close to your heart, and then this person already told a little lie. Imagine what they're gonna do with the truth. You know?
Yeah, we should not gossip. We should not slander.
Right. But he will lie a little bit for his brother. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna lie for my brother.
I'm just kidding. So, what do you want people to take away from your play?
Um, One thing is to showcase a two-parent household.
Okay.
Oftentimes with these African American stories, you're seeing a single mom, and the dad's he's in jail or he's dead or he's not involved in their life. I'm trying to get away from that. I want to show that these houses exist too.
Mm-hmm.
We know the statistic of 70% of black women, raise single parent household. Um, so just trying to put it on stage that this type of family dynamic is possible, it's relatable, and uh, just trying to push for marriage too. Pushing for marriage early, not waiting, and just trying to honor your parents,
Mm-hmm.
respect your parents. You're here because of God, but your parents conceived you. So have the utmost regard. Um, it's not always easy. We have our differences and belief systems as to what we should do and um not going in line with what our parents really want for us. But at the end of the day, if you have good parents, they want the best for you. So
Yeah.
just keeping that in mind, showcasing that narrative. Everything is about family in this play. Showing that parenthood and showing it's not easy being a parent and it's not easy being a child.
Right. So I know you touched on the importance of it being a two-parent household, which is a household I grew up in, and I wish that there was representation. Why do you feel like now we are seeing that intense representation of those single parent homes, those situations where the fathers are, in jail, incarcerated? And do you feel like that reflects what you see out in the world today?
Great question. Um, the world that we live in is all by design. It's ultimately God's design, but the creation, those that are in power, they have it to where they can do systematic design. And so, oftentimes, the design is in film, it's in music, it's in billboards, and a lot of it is messaging. And when you look at the messaging, it ties into telling the story. So it's ultimately telling a story for you to perceive, for your perception. And we just have to combat that. We have to be conscious of it, that these systems are in place for us to have broken homes, for us to not raise a family as one, for us to have children out of wedlock. All these type of things. We just have to take a stand, and you have to stand for what's right, and just be strong in your morals and your values. But I would say it's just systematic, and the powers that be, they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I'm just trying to work myself up in rank to where I could be one of those voices of power uh, that could challenge that narrative, that can challenge that messaging.
Okay, so is that important to you to make sure that your plays at least have some family unity as far as what that nuclear family is, that traditional mom, father, children in a household, like that copacetic dynamic, and they can have some difficulties that always don't include the father being just, non-existent, in prison, selling drugs, and doing all those things. I feel like there are a lot of art out there that doesn't always display our African American men
Yeah,
or our Black men in positive light.
for sure.
So, is that something that you hold to a high rank? Because I did notice that after I read through everything, that the integrity of their marriage,
Mm,
was very important.
yeah, no, that's very true. Um, just taking a step back, one of my projects that I did, my best short film to date was In Memory of. And in that story, I tackled the storyline of a mom who's raising two children by herself,
Hmm.
only because her husband was arrested for a crime that he didn't commit. And that's also a narrative that we deal with as a culture, for going to jail for things in prison when we're innocent. So um, there's so many stories you could tell, And oftentimes, a lot of the things that are being pushed aren't things that we need to see, aren't things that we need to go Netflix and chill about. It's so much power in telling the story. There's so many stories to tell that I feel like when you're in a position of creative control, like put meaning in messages that can have a positive impact in your work. And so that's something I've been doing since day one.
I love that. So let everyone know where they can find your play. I know it's debuting here in Birmingham. Is that correct?
For sure.
So let us know the details.
For sure. Mark your calendars. August 2nd, Saturday. First Saturday in August. Birmingham will never be the same. We got 2 show times, 2 p.m. sharp. We're not doing CPT.
Okay.
We that's another narrative we got to stop.
Okay. We was on
another-
CPT today, but look, we got here.
We got here, but we got to
Yeah,
stop that.
we do.
We got to stop that. We got to be on time. We got to take, time is money, and money is time. So we definitely want to start on time, 2:00 sharp, and second show time at 7:00.
Okay.
sharp.
And how can people get tickets?
Tickets are on Eventbrite. Okay. You can just search the Miltons and it'll come up. And this is going to be at the Woodlawn Theater. And we're making history as the first stage play that they're having.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so it's historical from top to bottom. And I really think that this story will really resonate with the audience. I really think they'll appreciate it.
All right. And let everyone know also where they can find your other projects and how they can also follow and support you on social media.
Most definitely. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post every week. Rico Shay TV. A lot of my work, skits, films, are on that channel, as well as my social media profiles, Instagram at So Visionary Films and Facebook at Rico Shay for the most part.
All right. Well, we want to say thank you so much, you guys. We will definitely be down there August 2nd. Again, that is going to be at the Woodlawn Theater at 2 p.m. sharp. Okay. Not 2:07, not 2:08, not 2:09, and not 2:10. At 2:00 sharp. And also at 7 p.m., they're going to have their second showing. And if you guys can go ahead and get your tickets on Eventbrite, go ahead and do it. I read the character arc. I also read the treatment for the show, and it's actually pretty funny. Okay,
It's funny. It's
and I
funny.
can't wait for you. If you go, I might be the one to get on the stage and ask what would y'all do, because I just have to know what you would do in this situation. Because me, I'm folding every time. I'm gonna be the one. Your auntie don't like no mess, but I got a little something to tell you. Yeah. But I'm really interested in seeing what it looks like, and congratulations for being the first play to debut there, right?
Yeah. I just want to shout out your platform too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Ashanti After 9 and everything she has online. She's going somewhere big.
Absolutely. Big. And Ashanti After 9 will be in the building. We are gonna get a chance to talk to the cast, I hope. Sure. I'm doing my shameless plug right now.
For sure.
But I would love to get a chance to kind of talk individually to the cast and just kind of get some of their background when it comes to acting. You guys, I know we're getting ready to close out the show, but I am a horrible actress, okay?
She's been in some of my work.
I have, and y'all, I laugh so bad every time. Like, one time, I'm going to close out, but one time it was me, Rico, and Cam. We was at my apartment, right? Cam had to tell me that he lost his job. What? That he lost his
applying for a job.
He was applying for a job. He was trying to get a job.
He couldn't get one.
And he was supposed to get like real frustrated. Yeah. I kept laughing.
She was supposed to cry and be emotional. This girl is laughing.
I just laugh because you're so sorry. Why you can't get a job? What you crying for? But I am not the best actress, but I plan on getting better. Okay. But I know I need to play a jovial role. You know what I mean? I need to play like a carefree. I can't be fake crying on there because I had to turn my head from the camera every time because I bust out laughing and I couldn't stay on script.
We had to run it till it was at least semi-right.
Yeah. And I'm also not good too because sometimes my emotions, like if I'm not feeling the person I'm acting with, I can't fake act like I like them that day. You know what I mean? So I just got to be in a character where I can kind of just do my own thing. So if you see any roles that you got coming up, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Go ahead and put me in. Now I do just a little cameo, because
I think anybody can be an actress or actor.
You do.
With good training, practice, anybody can be an actor.
Can you teach me how to cry on demand?
For sure.
I might be able to do that.
Look, acting is not hard. Acting is not hard.
Yes,
I know we got to go, but acting, it's really a mindset thing. Mm-hmm. It's all everything's in the mind. It's best to just not overthink it and to just be natural in the moment. Lights, camera, action, you roll it. If it ain't right, you do it again. You just get better with each take.
I wasn't getting better though, y'all. I wasn't getting better, but it's okay because we got 2025. I might even just do a little acting class. You know what I'm saying? I might be ready to get on there.
Hone some skills.
Do a little crying. My man was cheating on me or something, and I'm gonna be up there boohoo crying. My man can't get a job. We have to run that back. Part two.
For sure.
Yeah, we got to get Cam in the building.
Part 2. Hey, why not?
Yeah. So maybe we can reconvene, and maybe he'll have a job right now, right? Maybe we can try that.
He got a job now.
Yeah, he got a job now. But yes, and please let everybody know where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, again, Instagram, Soul Visionary Films, YouTube, Rico Shay TV, and Facebook, Rico Shay.
All right, and there you have it. Thanks so much. Congratulations. And again, make sure you guys go to the Woodline Theater, Eventbrite. I'm going to make sure I put it in the description. Get your tickets today. And we will see you August 2nd at 2 p.m. sharp and 7 p.m. sharp. Okay?
Peace.
All right, bye, y'all.